Thermopylae. The battle 300 men were never supposed to win and didn't need to. 300 men held off an army of hundreds of thousands for 3 days, in a mountain pass barely wide enough for a handful of soldiers to stand shoulder to shoulder. They knew from the beginning they were going to die there. They chose to stay anyway, and the way they died mattered more to history than almost any battle anyone actually won. In 480 BC, the Persian Empire under King Xerxes I launched a massive invasion of Greece, assembling what ancient sources describe as an army numbering anywhere from several 100,000 to well over 1 million soldiers. Figures modern historians generally regard as significantly exaggerated by ancient chroniclers, though even the most conservative modern estimates still place Xerxes' invasion force at somewhere between 100,000 and 300,000 men. An overwhelming military force by any standard of the ancient world, assembled specifically to punish Athens and other Greek city-states for their earlier support of a rebellion against Persian rule, and to bring mainland Greece formally under Persian control. Facing this genuinely existential threat, a coalition of Greek city-states, remarkable in itself given how frequently these same city-states had spent previous decades fighting each other rather than cooperating, assembled a combined defensive force under the command of the Spartan king Leonidas, choosing to make their stand at Thermopylae, a narrow coastal pass so constricted by surrounding mountains and the sea that it offered the only realistic geographic position where a significantly smaller Greek force might successfully hold off Persia's vastly larger army. Since the pass's narrow width meant Persia's overwhelming numerical advantage couldn't be fully brought to bear against the Greek defenders at any single point of contact. Leonidas commanded a force that, contrary to the popular simplified version of the story, focusing exclusively on his personal bodyguard of 300 Spartans, actually numbered several thousand soldiers total, drawn from multiple allied Greek city-states, all working together to hold the narrow pass against Persia's advancing army. For 2 full days, this combined Greek force successfully repelled repeated, increasingly desperate Persian assaults, inflicting genuinely significant casualties on Xerxes' forces, while the pass's narrow geography prevented Persia's numerical superiority from translating into any decisive breakthrough. The battle's outcome shifted dramatically on its 3rd day, when a local Greek resident named Ephialtes, motivated according to ancient sources by the promise of financial reward, revealed to Xerxes the existence of a lesser-known mountain path that could be used to circumvent the main pass entirely, allowing a portion of the Persian army to outflank the Greek position and attack from the rear, threatening to trap the entire defending force between 2 simultaneous Persian assaults. Upon learning of this outflanking maneuver through his own scouts, Leonidas made the decision that would ultimately transform this specific battle from a notable military engagement into one of history's most enduring symbols of self-sacrificial resistance. Rather than attempting to withdraw his entire remaining force, which faced near certain destruction if caught between the 2 advancing Persian columns in open terrain, Leonidas dismissed the majority of the allied Greek forces, ordering them to retreat and preserve themselves for the broader Greek war effort still to come, while personally remaining at Thermopylae with his 300 Spartans, along with several hundred additional soldiers from other Greek city-states who chose to remain rather than retreat, a combined force of roughly 1,500 men, deliberately positioning themselves as a rearguard specifically to delay the advancing Persian army long enough for the retreating Greek forces to escape safely. This final stand, fought with full knowledge among every remaining soldier that they faced certain death, resulted in the complete destruction of Leonidas's remaining force, including Leonidas himself. Though ancient accounts describe the Spartans and their allies fighting with such ferocious, sustained resistance even after their weapons broke, allegedly continuing to fight with bare hands and teeth according to some ancient accounts, that they inflicted disproportionately severe casualties on Xerxes' forces even in their final, doomed engagement. From a purely tactical military perspective, Thermopylae represented an unambiguous Persian victory. Xerxes' massive army successfully broke through Greek defenses and proceeded to advance further into Greek territory, eventually burning Athens itself in the following weeks. Yet the battle's genuine strategic and psychological significance to the broader war proved considerably more complicated than this straightforward tactical outcome suggests. The delay Leonidas and his men purchased through their final stand provided crucial additional time for the retreating Greek forces and the broader Greek war effort to organize, and the sheer scale of the casualties inflicted on Xerxes' army during 3 days of fighting against a vastly outnumbered defending force significantly damaged Persian morale and demonstrated, in stark, undeniable terms, that Persia's overwhelming numerical superiority alone couldn't guarantee easy victory against sufficiently determined Greek resistance. This demonstrated vulnerability helped galvanize broader Greek resistance efforts in the following months, contributing directly to the psychological and strategic foundation that ultimately allowed a combined Greek fleet to achieve a decisive naval victory over Persia at the Battle of Salamis shortly afterward, followed by a final decisive Greek land victory at the Battle of Plataea the following year, engagements that together ultimately forced Xerxes' invasion force to withdraw from Greece entirely, preserving Greek independence during a period when the alternative Greek civilization being fully absorbed into the Persian Empire could have fundamentally altered the subsequent development of Western civilization's philosophical, political, and cultural foundations. What makes Thermopylae endure as one of history's most consistently referenced military engagements, studied and celebrated for nearly 2.5 millennia since it actually occurred, isn't primarily its immediate tactical outcome, since Xerxes' army did ultimately break through and continue its advance, but the specific, deliberately chosen act of self-sacrifice at its conclusion. A small force of soldiers who, facing absolutely certain death, chose to remain and fight specifically to protect their retreating comrades, transforming what could have been remembered simply as a delaying tactic within a larger Persian military victory into one of history's most enduring symbols of the specific kind of courage that chooses purposeful, meaningful sacrifice over survival, when survival itself would have meant abandoning the broader cause the sacrifice was ultimately made to protect. If stories like this, where a battle's true significance had nothing to do with who actually won it, are exactly what you come here for, subscribe to The Grave Details, because history holds more stories like this than most people will ever know.